Stop spending money on mulch. Stop breaking your back spreading it. Because two humble seeds are about to change. Everything you thought you knew about protecting your garden soil. Every spring, the same routine. You drive to the store, load up bags of mulch, haul them home, and spread them across your garden beds. Your back aches, your wallet thins, and by next season, you're doing it all over again. But what if there was a way to never mulch again? What if two simple seeds could blanket your soil, choke out weeds, feed your plants, and renew themselves year after year, without you lifting a finger? No gimmicks, no expensive products, just nature doing what it's always done best. When we let it. Stay with me. What you're about to discover will change your garden forever. The gardener's struggle. For decades, we've been told, mulch your beds. Buy bags of bark. Haul it. Spread it. Replace it every season. It's exhausting. It's expensive. And honestly, nature never needed our help before. Think about it. How many Saturday mornings have you spent at the garden center, staring at pallets stacked high with mulch bags? You calculate how many you'll need. You load them into your cart, each one heavier than the last. You drive home, unload them one by one, and then comes the real work. Spreading mulch, bending, kneeling, breaking it even. Your knees protest. Your lower back reminds you it's not what it used to be. And by the time you're done, you're covered in wood chips, exhausted, and wondering if it's even worth it. But you do it anyway, because that's what we've been taught, right? Bare soil is bad soil. Mulch protects your plants. It keeps weeds down. And sure, mulch does help, for a while. But then the rain washes it away. The wind scatters it. It breaks down into nothing. And next spring, you're back at that garden center again, spending another $50, $60, maybe $100 or more, just to repeat the cycle. It's a trap, a costly, back-breaking trap that the gardening industry has convinced us is necessary. But here's the truth they don't tell you. Nature has been covering soil for millions of years, long before humans invented bagged mulch. Forests don't need us to spread bark. Meadows don't need us to buy ground cover. They do it themselves, with living plants that protect, nourish, and regenerate the earth beneath them. So why are we fighting nature when we could be working with it? What if I told you there's a way to cover your garden soil that costs almost nothing, requires no heavy lifting, and actually improves your soil year after year instead of just sitting on top of it? What if you could plant something once and let it do all the mulching for you? Forever? That's not a fantasy. It's how gardens thrived for generations before. Big box stores sold us the idea that we needed their products to succeed. Our grandparents knew this. Farmers have known this for centuries. And now, you're about to know it too. Before we reveal these two miracle seeds, do me a favor. Tap that thumbs up button and subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors. This is where old wisdom grows new life, and where your garden gets easier, not harder. Let's dig in. The science of living mulch. So what exactly is living mulch? Simply put, it's nature's way of doing what we've been paying companies to do for us. Living mulch is a layer of low-growing plants that you intentionally grow to cover your soil. These aren't weeds, they're your garden's workforce. They suppress the bad weeds, lock in moisture, protect the soil from erosion, and as they grow and die back, they feed the earth with organic matter. Think of it as a living blanket. But unlike wood chips or shredded bark that just sit there and slowly rot away, living mulch is alive. It breathes. It grows. It renews itself season after season without you having to replace it. And here's the beautiful part. It doesn't just cover your soil, it improves it. These plants pull nitrogen from the air and fix it into the ground, giving your vegetables and flowers a steady supply of natural fertilizer. Their roots break up compacted soil, creating pathways for water and air to reach deeper. When they shed leaves or get trimmed back, all that green matter decomposes right where it falls, building richer, darker, more fertile soil every single year. This isn't some new trend invented by garden influencers. Farmers have used living mulch for centuries, long before chemical fertilizers, long before plastic weed barriers, long before bagged mulch even existed. They called them cover crops. They knew that healthy soil wasn't something you bought in a bag, it was something you grew. And the best part? Once you plant it, it does the work for you. No annual trips to the store, no heavy lifting, no replacing it every spring. You plant these seeds once, and they keep giving back, year after year, with barely any effort on your part. It's perfect for those Of us who want a thriving garden but don't want to spend every weekend maintaining it. It's for anyone who's tired of fighting weeds, tired of watering constantly, tired of spending money on products that don't last. Living Mulch is gardening the way it was always meant to be: simple, sustainable, and in harmony with nature. Now, you might be wondering, which plants work as living mulch? Great question, because not all plants are created equal for this job. You need plants that stay low, spread well, don't compete aggressively with your vegetables or flowers, and ideally, bring extra benefits to the table. And that's where our two miracle seeds come in. Have you ever heard of living mulch before today? Or maybe you've been using it without even knowing it had a name. Let us know in the comments. We love learning what you already know. And if this is brand new to you, drop a so we know we're blowing your mind right now. Alright, let's talk about the first seed. This little plant is a nitrogen-fixing powerhouse, and it just might be the hardest working thing in your garden. Seed number 1, white clover, the nitrogen factory. Meet white clover, the humble little plant that's been working overtime in gardens for generations, often without us even noticing. White clover is one of nature's most generous gifts to gardeners. It's small, it's unassuming, and yet it does something absolutely remarkable. It takes nitrogen straight out of the air and feeds it directly into your soil. Free fertilizer, delivered 24/7, without you lifting a finger or spending a dime. Here's how it works. White clover has tiny nodules on its roots that host special bacteria. These bacteria capture nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into a form your plants can actually use. So while your tomatoes, peppers, and flowers are growing above ground, white clover is quietly feeding them from below. It's like having an invisible gardening assistant working around the clock. But that's not all. White clover grows low and dense, spreading across your soil like a soft green carpet. And when it does, weeds don't stand a chance. There's simply no room for them. No light, no open soil, just thick, healthy clover keeping everything in check. And even during dry spells when other plants are wilting, white clover stays green. Its deep roots tap into moisture below the surface, so it keeps thriving even when rain is scarce. That means less watering for you and a garden that looks lush all season long. Oh, and the bees? They absolutely love it. Those delicate white flowers are a magnet for pollinators, which means better fruit set on your vegetables and more life buzzing through your garden. It's a win for you and a win for nature. Now, if you're thinking, this sounds great, but I don't want to be constantly mowing it, I have good news. White clover stays naturally short, usually just 4 to 6 inches tall. You can mow it if you want a manicured look, but you don't have to. And here's the kicker. It tolerates foot traffic beautifully. You can walk on it, kids can play on it, pets can run through it, and it bounces right back. And the cost? A pound of white clover seed covers about 4,000 square feet and costs less than a single bag of mulch. Once you plant it, it reseeds itself every year. You plant it once, and it keeps coming back, season after season, without any extra work or money from you. How to plant white clover? It couldn't be simpler. In early spring or fall, when the soil is cool and moist, just scatter the seeds where you want them to grow: garden paths, around your perennials, under fruit trees, anywhere you want permanent ground cover. Lightly rake them into the soil. You don't need to bury them deep, just press them in so they make contact with the earth. Then water gently for about 2 weeks while they germinate. After that, let them do their thing. They'll spread naturally, filling in gaps and creating that beautiful, weed-suppressing carpet. Seed number 2, crimson clover or hairy vetch, the soil healer. If white clover is your garden's steady workhorse, then crimson clover is its miracle healer, beautiful, powerful, and transformative. Crimson clover is a showstopper. In early spring, it erupts into fields of vibrant red and pink blooms that look like something out of a painting. But don't let its beauty fool you. This plant is working hard beneath the surface in ways that will leave your soil healthier than it's been in years. Let's start with those roots. Crimson clover sends deep taproots down into the earth, sometimes reaching 2 to 3 feet below the surface. As they grow, they break up compacted, hard-packed soil naturally. No tiller, no digging, no back-breaking labor required. It's like hiring a team of tiny excavators to aerate your garden beds while you sit back and watch. And when spring arrives and you cut it down, All that lush green growth becomes instant organic matter. We're talking massive amounts of nitrogen-rich plant material that you can leave right where it falls. It decomposes quickly, feeding your soil with nutrients and building that dark, crumbly texture every gardener dreams of. This is what farmers call the chop and drop method. You simply cut the clover down at ground level before it goes to seed. Let it lay on top of the soil as a natural mulch, and then plant your vegetables right through it. No hauling, no composting, no extra steps. The clover does all the heavy lifting for you. Crimson clover also shines on slopes or areas prone to erosion. Its dense growth holds soil in place during heavy rains, preventing precious topsoil from washing away. If you've got a hillside garden or uneven terrain, this plant is your best friend. Now, if you live in a colder climate where crimson clover struggles, meet its tougher cousin, hairy vetch. This hardy cover crop thrives in freezing temperatures and does everything crimson clover does: deep roots, nitrogen fixing, weed suppression, but it's built for harsh winters. Some gardeners even plant both together for maximum soil building power. Why it's perfect for seniors. There's no digging involved, no heavy lifting. You scatter the seeds, let them grow over the fall and winter while you're inside staying warm. And by spring, your garden beds are soft, fertile, and ready to plant without you ever picking up a shovel. It's organic soil improvement without chemicals, without expense, and without exhausting yourself. You're simply letting nature heal the ground the way it's done for millennia. How to plant crimson clover. Timing is key. Plant crimson clover in late summer or early fall, ideally 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost. This gives it time to establish before winter sets in. Scatter the seeds over bare soil in your vegetable beds, around fruit trees, or anywhere you want to improve soil quality. Rake them lightly into the surface, or if rain is coming, just let nature press them in for you. The dynamic duo, how to combine them. Here's where it all comes together. When you use white clover and crimson clover as a team, you create a self-sustaining garden system that works for you all year long, without you having to work for it. Think of it this way. White clover is your permanent ground cover. It stays put, year-round, quietly doing its job in paths, around perennials, under fruit trees, and anywhere you want living mulch that never quits. It's your foundation, the steady, reliable layer that keeps weeds out and moisture in, season after season. Crimson clover, on the other hand, is your seasonal powerhouse. You plant it in the fall, let it grow through winter, and in spring, you cut it down to feed and heal your soil right before planting season. It's like giving your garden beds a spa treatment every single year. When you combine them strategically, something incredible happens. Your soil is never bare, ever. There's always something growing, always something protecting the ground, always roots working below and greenery shading above. Weeds can't get a foothold, moisture stays locked in, and your soil just keeps getting better and better. Step-by-step combo planting. Let's break this down so you can see exactly how simple it is. Step 1. Scatter white clover in your garden paths, around your perennial flowers, under fruit trees, and along borders, anywhere you want permanent, low-maintenance ground cover. Plant it once in early spring or fall. Water it for a couple weeks, and then let it do its thing. It'll spread, fill in gaps, and stay green all year. You never have to replant it. Step 2. In late summer or early fall, scatter crimson clover, or hairy vetch if you're in a cold climate, over your vegetable garden beds, the areas where you grow tomatoes, peppers, beans, squash, all your seasonal crops. These beds are empty after harvest anyway, so instead of leaving them bare and exposed all winter, you're covering them with a living blanket that's actively improving your soil. Step 3. Let the crimson clover grow through fall and winter. Don't touch it. Just let it work its magic below ground, breaking up compacted soil, fixing nitrogen, holding moisture. Step 4. In early spring, right before the crimson clover starts to flower and set seed, cut it down at ground level. You can use a mower, a string trimmer, or even garden shears if it's a small area. Leave all that green material right on top of the soil as mulch. Step 5. Wait about 2 to 3 weeks for it to start breaking down. Then plant your vegetables directly into the bed, right through the decomposing clover. The clover acts as mulch on top, while feeding nutrients into the soil below. Meanwhile, your white clover in the paths and borders, still there, still thriving, still keeping weeds at bay and bees happy. Common mistakes to avoid. We've all been there, that sinking feeling when something you planted with hope just doesn't sprout the way you imagined. You picture a lush green carpet of clover gently dancing in the breeze, only to wake up weeks later to a patchy, uneven field that looks more like confusion than creation. But here's the truth. Your soil isn't cursed, and your green thumb isn't broken. You may have just stumbled into a few beginner traps that every gardener faces at some point. Let's fix that together. Mistake number 1, planting too deep. This one's easy to miss, especially if you're used to traditional crops like corn or beans. Clover isn't a root diver, it's a surface dweller. Its seeds are tiny, delicate, and need light contact with the soil to wake up. When you bury them deep, they struggle to reach the sunlight they need to germinate. Think of it like trying to shout through a thick blanket. Your seeds can't breathe or stretch out. The fix: rake your soil lightly, sprinkle the seeds evenly, and gently press them in with your hand or a roller. You're tucking them in, not burying them. Mistake number 2, overwatering. We love our plants, and sometimes that love turns into too much attention. Clover, once it's sprouted, is remarkably drought tolerant. It doesn't like soggy feet. Waterlogging can suffocate young roots and invite mold. The fix: water lightly during the first week to keep the soil moist, not soaked. Once you see tiny green sprouts, cut back. Let nature take the lead. Clover thrives best with a little tough love. Mistake number 3, expecting instant results. We live in a fast world, one-click orders, next-day delivery, and same-day gratification. But gardening doesn't obey the clock of convenience. It dances to nature's rhythm. Clover takes 2 to 3 weeks to germinate, sometimes longer depending on weather and soil. That's not failure, that's faith in progress. The fix: be patient. Resist the urge to replant or overwater if you don't see results in a few days. Instead, take that time to observe. Watch how the soil changes, how moisture holds, how life quietly stirs beneath the surface. Gardening is as much about trust as it is about technique. Mistake number 4, using treated or non-organic seeds. This is one of the most overlooked mistakes, but also one of the most important. Many commercial seeds are coated with chemicals that can harm pollinators, bees, butterflies, and beneficial insects that your garden depends on. Treated seeds may promise faster germination or disease resistance, but they come at a hidden cost to your ecosystem. The fix: always buy untreated, organic seeds. They're safer, healthier, and ensure that your patch becomes a haven, not a hazard, for the life buzzing around your garden. The bigger picture: why living mulch is a gift to the future. Take a quiet moment and picture your garden 10 years from now. The soil is dark and alive. The air hums softly with bees. You can almost feel the roots weaving together beneath your feet, holding moisture, feeding life, and quietly repairing what time and neglect once stole. That's the power of living mulch. It's not just about saving effort today. It's about leaving something better behind tomorrow. We often think of gardening as a hobby, something personal and contained within our fences. But the truth is, what we plant and how we plant echoes beyond our backyards. Each small patch of living mulch you nurture is part of a larger story, one of renewal, restoration, and respect for the natural rhythms our grandparents instinctively knew. Let's step back and look at why this simple, humble practice matters so deeply. 1. Reduces plastic waste. No more mulch bags. Think about the number of plastic mulch bags sold each year. Shiny, crinkly, convenient, and destined for the landfill after one season. Those bags don't disappear. They break down into microplastics that eventually find their way into our soil, our rivers, and even our food. Living mulch changes that cycle. It replaces something artificial with something alive. The gift: every time you choose clover or cover crops instead of plastic, you're voting for a cleaner earth, one garden bed at a time. 2. Supports pollinators and biodiversity. Walk through a clover-covered garden on a sunny morning, and you'll see a small miracle in motion: bees dipping between blossoms, butterflies hovering, soil insects working unseen. Living mulch isn't just a ground cover. It's an ecosystem. When you plant it, you're offering refuge and food for the creatures that keep our world balanced. The gift: you're not just growing plants, you're helping life find its way back home. 3. Build soil health for generations. Healthy soil isn't built in a day. It's the quiet accumulation of organic matter, root systems, and microbial life over time. Living mulch feeds that process naturally. It locks in moisture, prevents erosion, and breaks down into nutrient-rich humus that nourishes your crops and the land long after you're gone. The gift: you're creating a living legacy, soil that your children, or someone's children, will thank you for. 4. Saves money and physical strain. No more hauling heavy mulch bags. No more respreading year after year. Once established, living mulch keeps weeds down, retains water, and requires little maintenance. It's the kind of quiet helper that pays you back season after season. The gift: less bending, less spending, more peace of mind. Your body and your wallet both breathe easier. Let nature breathe again. 2 seeds. That's all it takes. Not a dozen tools, not another bag of mulch, not hours of backbreaking labor. Just 2 tiny, living promises, small enough to hold in your palm, yet powerful enough to transform your garden's heartbeat. When you scatter them into the soil, you're not simply planting clover or cover crops, you're planting permission. Permission for your garden to breathe again. Permission for the soil to heal, for the bees to return, for balance to quietly restore itself. Think about that for a moment. How often we try to control nature instead of cooperating with it. We cover the ground in plastic, drown it in water, choke it with chemicals, and then wonder why it feels lifeless. But when you let nature lead, something sacred happens. The soil softens, the air hums. Life, real life, begins to flow again. This isn't about replacing your garden. It's about liberating it. It's about giving your hands, your back, and your spirit a rest while nature does what it was created to do. Every sprouting seed is a quiet rebellion against exhaustion, a whisper that says, you don't have to do it all. A moment of peace. There's a deep satisfaction that comes from working with the earth instead of against it. Watching those 2 little seeds sprout is more than just gardening. It's communion. You're part of an unbroken chain of caretakers, stretching back generations, people who trusted the rhythm of the seasons and believed that simplicity could still create abundance. Close your eyes and imagine your garden a few months from now, green with life, buzzing with energy, yet calm. No plastic mulch, no endless weeding, just balance. That's what you've started today. That's what 2 seeds can do. If this idea sparked something in you, that feeling of, yes, this makes sense, let's keep that energy alive. Give this video a like. It tells the algorithm, and us, that old wisdom still matters. Share it with a fellow gardener who's tired of hauling mulch, tired of fighting nature, and ready to try something simpler. Subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, because here, we celebrate the timeless connection between hands, soil, and heart. We're not just teaching gardening tips. We're nurturing a movement, one rooted in peace, patience, and partnership with the natural world. What's the first place in your garden you'll plant these seeds? Will it be the corner where weeds always win? The bare patch you've stopped trying to fix? Or maybe the spot by the fence where sunlight lingers the longest? Tell us below. We'll be cheering you on every step and seed of the way. At the end of the day, gardening isn't just about what grows in the ground. It's about what grows in us. Patience, hope, renewal, the courage to try again with gentler hands.